Right now, as you are watching this, minus 50 degrees wind chill is gripping parts of northern Canada. Exposed skin, frostbite in under 5 minutes. And if you are in southern Ontario, a massive pattern shift is about to flip your forecast completely upside down within the next 48 hours. But here's the question nobody is talking about. Which Canadian cities are about to get slammed the hardest this week, and which ones are quietly sitting in the danger zone without even knowing it? Stay with me, because at the 3-minute mark, I am going to reveal the one city where temperatures could swing by 30 degrees in just a few hours. That is not a typo. 30 degrees. And by the 5-minute mark, I will break down the exact timing of when this warm front hits your region, hour by hour, so you know precisely when to prepare. But first, let me give you the number that shocked me this morning. Right now, the temperature difference between Vancouver and Yellowknife is over 50 degrees Celsius. 50, one country, one single Monday morning, and on one end, people are walking through green parks in the rain. On the other end, boiling water freezes before it hits the ground. That is Canada on February the 9th, 2026. Now let us start where the storm action is and work our way across the country. Drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from, and I will make sure your city gets covered in the next update. Starting on the East Coast, St. John S., Newfoundland. You already know what February feels like out there, but here is what you might not know. St. John S. is one of the snowiest cities in all of North America. Today, you are looking at highs of -3 to -1 degrees Celsius. Overnight lows will dip to -8 to -10. But the real story is the northeast winds blowing in off the Atlantic at 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. That is pushing wind chill values down to -15 to -20. Light snow develops through the afternoon and evening, 2 to 5 centimeters of accumulation. Visibility could drop below 1 kilometer during the heavier bursts. If you are driving the Trans-Canada through the Avalon Peninsula tonight, headlights on, speed down, no exceptions. Now here is something most people miss about Halifax. It is not the snow that gets you, it is the ice. Halifax today sits right at the freezing mark, 0 degrees for the high, dropping to -6 tonight. The morning starts with freezing drizzle and wet snow, then transitions to light snow through the afternoon. Only 1 to 3 centimeters of accumulation. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Black ice is forming on side streets and sidewalks right now. Main roads have been salted, but those back roads and that shortcut you always take? Extremely slippery. That damp ocean cold cuts right through every layer you are wearing. Veterans out there know exactly what I mean. Moncton, New Brunswick is getting a relatively quiet day. Highs of -2, lows of -9. Light flurries this afternoon, minimal accumulation, winds out of the north at 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. Enjoy the calm, Moncton, because do not miss the next section. Quebec is telling a very different story. Montreal. Pay close attention here because Montreal typically gets heavier snowfall in February than Toronto. Today, S high is just -3, overnight low -11. Light to moderate snow is building through the afternoon and into the evening, 3 to 7 centimeters by the time it is done. Northwest winds at 15 to 25 kilometers per hour are going to blow that snow around, cutting visibility and creating drifts along the roadways. The metro is running normally, but surface bus routes could see delays if the snow comes down heavier than expected. Montreal Trudeau International Airport has no cancellations reported yet, but check your flight status before you leave the house. And for anyone who has never been to Montreal in winter, here is a detail that blows people's minds. There is an entire underground city beneath the streets. Over 30 kilometers of tunnels connecting buildings, shopping centers, and metro stations. You can cross downtown Montreal without ever stepping outside. 30 kilometers underground. While -11 rages above your head, Quebec City is where things get serious. The high today only reaches -5. Overnight lows are plunging to -15. With the wind chill, it will feel like -20 to -25. The historic Old Quebec District, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is buried under a thick blanket of snow right now. Beautiful to photograph, brutal to stand in. If you are heading to the Carnaval de Quebec, your warmest parka, insulated mitts, a proper toque, and a solid scarf are not optional. They are survival gear. Now, Ontario. This is where the forecast gets wild, and this is the part I promised you would not want to miss. Toronto. Today's high is only -8, overnight low around -10. That is significantly colder than the early February average, which normally sits closer to -1 to 0. But here is the twist. A massive pattern shift is beginning right now, today, February the 9th, and it is going to last through the 14th. A milder air mass from the southwest is pushing its way into southern Ontario. By midweek, daytime temperatures could climb above the freezing mark. You are going from -8 today to potentially above 0 by Wednesday or Thursday. Southerly winds at 16 kilometers per hour today are the first signal. You can feel the change coming. Late today or early tomorrow morning, expect mixed precipitation as that warm front rolls in. The TTC is running normally, the 401 and the Gardner are moving, but watch for icy patches from overnight refreezing first thing in the morning. Do not skip ahead yet, because the timing of this warm front matters for everything from your commute to your pipes. I will break down the exact hour-by-hour arrival at the 5-minute mark. Keep watching. Ottawa, one of the coldest national capitals on the planet, and today it is earning that title. High of -4, overnight low dropping to -15, wind chill of -20 to -25. But here is your reward for braving the cold. The Rideau Canal Skateway, the world's longest naturally frozen skating rink, is in excellent condition right now. Weeks of sub-zero temperatures have built a perfect ice surface. If you are going out there today, grab a beaver tail while you are at it. You have earned it. Barrie and the Simcoe region, high of -1, low of -8. This area is notorious for lake-effect snow off Georgian Bay. Light to moderate snow today, especially west of the city. Highway 400 between Toronto and Barrie could see reduced visibility from blowing snow and patchy freezing fog early this morning. The Ontario Provincial Police are reminding drivers to slow down and leave extra following distance. London, Ontario. A touch milder at 1 degree for the high, -5 for the low. The Great Lakes moderating effect is doing its job here. Mixed rain and snow showers possible this afternoon as that incoming warm front starts making its presence felt. Niagara Falls. One of the warmer spots in Ontario today at 2 degrees. The falls are flowing strong, and the mist and spray have created spectacular ice formations on the surrounding rock faces. If you can handle the cold, it is one of the most breathtaking sights in the country right now. All right, now we cross into the Prairies, and this is where the numbers get truly extreme. Brace yourself, Winnipeg. They do not call it Winterpeg for nothing. High of -12 to -10. Overnight low plummeting to -20 to -22. Northwest winds at 20 to 30 kilometers per hour are driving the wind chill down to -30 to -35. At those values, frostbite develops on exposed skin in 10 to 15 minutes. Manitoba Public Health is advising residents, especially seniors and young children, to limit time outdoors. Cover every bit of exposed skin if you must go out. Here is the classic prairie paradox, though. The skies are mostly clear, brilliant blue, gorgeous sunshine, and the air is cold enough to take your breath away the moment you step outside. Saskatchewan. Regina is looking at a high of -15, low of -23. Saskatoon is even worse. Highs near -17, lows around -25. The province is parked under a stubborn Arctic high-pressure system funneling bitterly cold air straight down from the pole. Wind chill values of -35 to -40. Extreme cold warnings are in effect across all of Saskatchewan. Check your heating systems, plug in your vehicles overnight, carry a winter emergency kit in the car. Now here it is. The city I promised you at the 3-minute mark, Calgary. Today's high is -4, overnight low -13. Not as extreme as Saskatchewan. But here is what makes Calgary unlike any other city in Canada. Chinook winds. Those warm, dry, downslope winds that spill over the Rockies from the west and can send temperatures soaring by 20 to 30 degrees in just a few hours. Today is not a Chinook day, but the forecast is hinting at a possible Chinook event by midweek. That means Calgary could go from -13 to above 0 in a single afternoon. 20 to 30 degrees of swing in hours. No other major city in the country experiences anything like it. Stay tuned for that update. Edmonton. High of -6, low of -14. Edmonton does not get the Chinook benefit that Calgary enjoys. It is farther north and more exposed to Arctic air. Light rail transit is running normally. Give yourself extra time to warm up the car this morning. Banff and Jasper National Parks. Banff is looking at -8 for the high, with valley bottoms potentially dipping below -18 overnight. Jasper is colder, highs of -9 to -10, lows touching -20. 5 to 10 centimeters of fresh snow at higher elevations, which is great news for the ski hills. Lake Louise, Sunshine Village, and Marmot Basin are all enjoying excellent conditions, but avalanche risk is rated moderate to high across several areas. If you are heading into the backcountry, check the latest avalanche bulletin from Avalanche Canada before you go. This is life or death information, now the West Coast, and honestly, it feels like a completely different country out here. Vancouver. Today, S-high is 9 degrees Celsius, +9. While most of Canada shivers at -10 to -20, Vancouver is sitting near double digits on the plus side. Overnight low of just 2 to 5 degrees. The trade-off? Rain. Vancouver averages 22 rainy days in February alone, with total monthly rainfall hitting around 242 millimeters. Today, expect light to moderate rain, heavier in the afternoon. Southwest winds off the Pacific at 15 to 25 kilometers per hour. And here is the detail that amazes visitors from the rest of Canada. Stanley Park is green right now, lush, vibrant, midwinter green, while the rest of the country looks like a snow globe. Victoria, even milder, highs of 8 to 10 degrees, overnight low of just 3 to 4 degrees. Light rain, some cloudy breaks. Victoria holds the title of Canada's mildest city and earns it every single winter. Cherry blossoms sometimes start appearing as early as late February here. Kelowna and the Okanagan. High of 0 to 2 degrees, low of -5 to -7. Mostly cloudy, chance of light snow. Those vineyard rows dusted with frost are peaceful but chilly. Now the far north. This is where winter shows what it is truly capable of. Whitehorse, Yukon. High of -15 to -12. Overnight lows could drop to -25 to -30. But the skies are mostly clear, and if you are lucky tonight, you could see a spectacular Northern Lights display. February is prime aurora viewing season, and Whitehorse is one of the best spots on the planet for it. Yellowknife. Deep in an extreme cold snap, high of -20 to -18. Overnight low of -30 to -35. Wind chill pushing to -40 to -45. At these temperatures, tossing boiling water into the air freezes it before it hits the ground. Great Slave Lake, the deepest lake in North America, is frozen solid with ice over a meter thick, strong enough to support heavy trucks on the ice roads. Iqaluit, Nunavut. The high barely reaches -25 to -22. Overnight lows of -35 to -40. Wind chill down to -50. Frobisher Bay has been frozen solid for months. Life up here in winter is a testament to extraordinary human resilience. Now here is the timing breakdown I promised you at the 5-minute mark. The warm front moving into southern Ontario. Today, February the 9th, southerly winds arrive. You will feel a subtle shift by late afternoon. Tomorrow, February the 10th, mixed precipitation begins. Rain and snow mix moving into the Greater Toronto Area and the Golden Horseshoe. By February the 11th and 12th, daytime temperatures push above 0 across southern Ontario and the Great Lakes region. The peak warmth hits around February the 13th and 14th. The catch? Melting snow during the day refreezes overnight. That means treacherous black ice on roads and sidewalks every morning through midweek. On the prairies and in the north, the Arctic air mass holds firm through at least midweek. A slight moderation by the weekend is possible, but we are still talking well below 0. No major snowstorms are on the radar this week, but extreme cold warnings remain in effect for Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and the Northern Territories. Quick safety reminders before you go. Layer up everywhere. Base layer, insulating layer, windproof, waterproof shell. If you are driving, check your winter tires, keep your gas tank above half, and make sure your emergency kit is in the trunk. Blanket, flashlight, snacks, phone charger. On the prairies and up north, make sure your heating is working. Space heaters stay away from anything flammable and never run unattended. On the west coast, do not underestimate the rain. Vancouver's winter rain soaks through and chills you faster than you would think. And wherever you are, try to get outside during daylight hours, even for a quick walk. February days are short. Keep moving. Stay active. Look after yourselves and each other. That is your complete coast-to-coast forecast for Monday, February the 9th, 2026. Now, in the next video, I am going to break down something very few forecasters are talking about. There are signs of an unusual weather pattern forming over the Arctic that could reshape the second half of February for the entire country. You are not going to want to miss that one. Drop a comment below with your city so I can make sure you are covered. And I will see you in the next update. Stay safe.